Ho, ho, ho! Bluey Christmas!
So, if in this world Santa is a dog,
Yeah.
what's pulling the sleigh? Cats?
No,
Gotta
still reindeer.
Yeah,
You could,
they still
because I
exist.
think we established that animals are animals in the Blue universe.
Yeah. Nah, a cat's. Cat Squad, Christmas edition.
Christmas cat
Oh,
squad.
there would definitely be a Christmas episode
Yeah.
in which they get called upon by Santa because there's something wrong with the reindeers.
That's right.
To then pull the sleigh.
You're getting it.
It writes itself.
It really does.
This episode of the Hammerbomb Project is called Proper Gravy.
But speaking of writing things, let's right this ship. Happy Christmas to everybody. This is the Hammerbomb Project. I'm Brendan.
This is Frank.
And I'm Muddy.
And
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
it's certainly... Thank you, Frank. I don't think there's enough singing on this podcast.
I think there's the perfect amount of singing.
Says the man who I don't think has ever actually sung on this podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, I think I also just have to be the Scrooge here.
You're a polite Scrooge, though. You're not like bar humbug. You're like, oh, no, maybe not.
Maybe
not.
Maybe I just don't feel like that today.
You could tell you're a dad because it's just like, oh, like you don't want to say, Naomi, no. You want to say, oh, maybe not right now. Maybe later.
Yeah.
Maybe another time. Yeah.
And hopefully you'll forget.
There's always that glimmer as you say, oh, maybe this other time. Maybe that will become never. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I love this time of year. I always have. And I want to talk about a Bluey episode that also celebrates this time of year.
This episode of Bluey is called Christmas Swim.
I will admit it had been a little while, and so I'm going to rely on you guys to remind me of all the things that I'm sure I do know about this episode, and that already straight away, I thought you were just going to say Christmas Swim, and then you did it in a muffin voice.
There you go. So, Marty, would you care to take us through the bare bones of this festive episode?
With its festivity in mind, I think it's really an ethnographic unpacking of a fundamental Australian Christmas. I think very much based on participant observation, a range of different qualitative methods, I would say, observational field studies to qualify any empirical assumptions, because it is just really just spot on.
Yeah.
In terms of an Australian Christmas.
I love that you ended all of that with just spot on.
Spot on.
I can just imagine the writers having a session and just going, okay, what are all the things that happen on Australian Christmas? It's like,
Yeah.
well, you go for a swim, you argue about politics with relatives you barely see,
Yeah.
I know this is jumping ahead, but the one that truly triggered both me and my wife. What are you doing there, love? Oh, I'm just making the gravy. Oh, no, that's not. I'll do it.
I'll do it properly.
I'll do it properly.
Not
And
do a
just the
pack of
look on Trixie's
Trix.
face. Oh, just triggering all over.
It's so true.
Yeah,
Mothers-in-law, they mean well. And I'm sure Nana didn't mean anything by that. But you can see the eye roll that Trixie does.
The real plot of this is about Bluey gets a new toy, Bartleby, and it's about basically introducing Bartleby to the family, sort of getting brought into the family, which really, like, this is not even me doing my stupid thing. It's kind of very much like an emulation of what it's like to bring a new partner or a friend into your family circle. And suddenly you're seeing your family through their eyes.
Yeah.
And you kind of like, you really want them to like your family, but at the same time you're also kind of feeling like you need to be apologetic for them, like they're kind of like this, and but it's not a big deal, but maybe they are just like this. So yeah, it's just really interesting way to have this lens on the Healer family.
With that in mind, I'm sure we all have stories of introducing significant others to our families at various points in our life. Has anyone got any keeping names and out of it, perhaps? Any good stories appropriate we can tell?
I hope you've got one in mind, Frank, that you're just trying
I do.
You're just trying to get one of us to put something in first, so yours doesn't seem so bad.
I was kind of
right?
hoping, because I don't want to blow you guys out of the water with this, but my family, despite being relatively small, we got a lot of family in Melbourne, but we live in Adelaide. So every alternate year, we would have an Adelaide Christmas or a Melbourne Christmas. The Spanish side of my family, my mum is from Spain, very small. I've got, 3 aunties and uncles and, a couple of cousins and stuff. But they go large. Like Christmas Day, it is Christmas Day. It is the entire day. In particular, the presents is a really big thing with my family. And I think that stems from when my mum and her family, direct family, were immigrants. They didn't have extended family. They didn't have uncles and aunties they could go see. So I get where it comes from. It's, however, evolved to the point of ridiculousness, probably highlighted by the fact that one year the tree was buried by presents. The presents were stacked taller than the Christmas tree itself. And so, but having grown up with it, you sort of go, that's just how we do it. Introducing, someone into that, they just go, oh, so we're just going to do like the cyclone thing and rip through all these presents. We're like, no. Santa's job is to introduce each present having a cryptic clue as to the contents inside, and then everyone must sit and wait for the person to open it. You talk about it, you go, wow, that's really great. I see what you did there, times 1,000 gifts under the tree, to the point where our present giving has multiple drinks breaks across the entire day, and most famously led to our Christmas dinner being put on the table at 1 minute into Boxing Day. Now,
wow.
Ali didn't believe me when I said we do presents a bit differently, and she started, it's Christmas Day, you have a drink, you have another drink. I think before we even got to the presents, she was 3 sheets to the wind, as they say. And I think halfway through present, she's like, no, I need to go have a lie down.
Wow. No, I think I did meet a lot of your mum's side of the family at her 50th. Yep. And I certainly learned a few things. It's funny because you said to Ali, my family does presents a little bit different. And I wonder, like, Ali probably would have had the good-natured approach of going, oh, no, I'm sure it's fine, and I wonder, when you're in that situation, when you're being introduced, I wonder if...
Well, I can tell it from the other side, if that's what you're talking about. And this was not with Ali. This was another partner before her. And I was looking at what seemed to be a pretty decent amount of presents for what was a very small, maybe 6 people in the family, including me as the newcomer. And it was all over in 10 minutes. And I just remember it was just chaos. There was paper flying everywhere and people shouting across the room, look at what I got. What's that one? That's also got my name on it. Boom, boom. And I just remember I was shell-shocked. I was literally sitting there going, what? But that's it? I don't understand. Like, it was very foreign to me. And to them, they were just like, what? And it wasn't until, the alternate year when the shoe was on the other foot, as it were, that they began to understand where I was coming from.
Yeah. And I wonder if when you're in that situation, introducing someone to the family, you said it, you hit the nail on the head, Marty, when you say it makes you look at your family through an external person's eyes. And I wonder if that is flavored by your experience when you're the one being introduced to another family. Like, do I just go, oh, it's my family, it'll be fine? Or do I think about the times that I've met another family and just because of the differences alone, I've been sort of set aback? I wonder if that makes me extra cautious when I'm doing that to someone who's done that to me. I don't know. Or whether it's just a natural thing that would happen whether you'd been in that position or not. I can't remember a specific time where I brought someone to a Christmas because I think my immediate family is so large that I don't think I've ever done that to someone at Christmas time.
They just get lost.
I think I slowly reveal the family to them over time because if they didn't know because I'm one of 7 kids and they've all got partners and kids and mum and dad. So our just my immediate family and partners. There were 25 people there last year.
So instead of being buried by presents, they're buried by other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't see the presents for the people. But I think I have heard reports back from partners gone by saying, I might just need a minute. Your family is so loud. There's a lot of energy going around when you have people who, you don't necessarily, it's a big immediate family to have. So, seeing each other during the year is quite a feat of organization.
Yep.
So when we actually achieve it at Christmas time, we're all very excited to see each other in one place. And yeah, that can be quite dramatic.
And they're all very knowledgeable as well, because we've had a number of them feature on our show. They know their Australian television history and Bluey factoids, as it were.
They certainly do. I'm very privileged to have them as my nibblings.
So I think one of the first things in the episode that hits me is just that they've got the classic establishing shot and you just get the cars down the street. And I think for me, that's a bit of a for real life, because you kind of like, oh, auntie's here and uncle's there, and like, everybody by their cars, and it starts to create, okay, it's that gathering of people. And I think that, like you were talking about the present giving, that's how the episode starts. And we've got this scene where Bluey's being the Christmas elf and handing around the presents.
Stripes and Bandit get the same
That's right.
apron.
with the classic Nana phrase just like, oh, but you both are, which is just so Nana of them both getting
Oh, what's this?
chef.
I got a T-shirt. There's writing on the T-shirt. Just hang on, I'll just get my glasses. Reads the T-shirt. Hang on, I'll just get my glasses. Oh,
I love the voice acting from Nana there. Just like, oh, you. It's just kind of like that sort of faux insulted kind of, you cheeky little.
And I think in terms of the Australian elements of this, the hot weather,
The
because they've got the pedestal, the white pedestal fan just in the shot, and right next to it is like a golden sparkle reindeer. They got both of those things from Kmart.
Oh yeah,
Because we're at it's Trixie and Stripe's house, isn't it?
Oh, I assume so, because
There's
not for anyone to roll up a magazine, but from the pool episode,
Correct.
it is Uncle Stripe who lets
Yes.
them use their pool while
There
they're
we are. And also, well, there's other hints in there, like all the wrapping paper, like you sort of said, Frank, there's the cyclone of present unwrapping. But there's also a whole bunch of moonlight unicorns, I think, spread around the place. And there's a picture of Muffin on one of the countertops, her wearing a tutu. So I think that sort of, but well, there are so many things here that just sort of say Stripe and Trixie and the sort of life that they have. Because they've got this, like, they've got the Buddhist-esque shrine thing outside on the wall. They've got the iPad, which is rose gold. There's so many things.
It almost makes it even easier to empathize with Trix at the moment of the gravy debacle as well, because it's in her, like, that makes sense. Because if it's her house, like, oh, I've just got a couple of packets, I'll do a proper one. You come into my home.
Not on my turf, Grandma.
I love you, Nana. I know you don't mean anything by it.
I think you were saying as well, Frank, the rotating of Christmases.
Yes.
For me,
absolutely.
I'm imagining, okay, this is the rotation round to Stripe and Trixie's house, which means
you had it last year, so
Yeah, we'll do it this time, and that means that.
And we've got the pool, so
there's that fantastic moment when Trixie, just like we're jumping all around as we usually do, but Trixie sits down at the table with all the food prepared, and you just see her have a moment going, my responsibility has been ended. And she's just got, which, is the thing of sort of like, the mum usually is organising all the stuff. You got the dad outside worrying about the crackling of just like some infinitesimal detail of some ridiculous thing that they've gravitated towards. And the mum's inside like preparing 90% of the rest of the meal, I bet. And then having to fend off mothers-in-law at the same time.
I love the two brothers like fronting up about how the meat should be cooked. It's pretty great.
And then, of course, we have the unpacking of Bartleby, and there's some great bits of music in this one. I forget what exactly
Maybe
that was.
Bartleby's my best in show for this one. He just takes it all in his stride.
He really does. It's a really nice introduction to all the different members of the family.
Yeah.
Sorry, Frank.
I was just going to say, I'm triggered by this episode because when I get a new toy that looks action figure-like on Christmas, the absolute last place it's going is in the pool.
Yeah.
He's not getting his face dipped in the gravy. He's not coming home with a broken arm. I half expected when the first sort of accident befell Bartleby, I half expected Bluey to freak out and sort of cry, and I went, no, that's just me.
Yeah, you're projecting a bit.
I don't know,
Frank.
man. That He-Man you were showing me before, I could see him in the pool.
What did you do to him, Brendan? It better still be there when we're done. To your point, Marty, you mentioned about the heat. This is why a number of the presents that get unwrapped by Socks and Muffin are inflatable. Was it like inflatable pizza? And
It was like a donut. Oh, I forget what the other one was. An island, which becomes the ferry.
Yeah, the ferry's leaving.
Oh, that's a great.
And there were so many the pool games. All right, that's probably something else we can all speak to for real life moments.
Classic catches.
The slow mo. It's the hand unfolds, and then in typical Bluey fashion, they get the dog component in there. Bandit diving full stretch, but then just getting the ball in his mouth as a dog would.
It was Chili.
Was it Chili?
That's Chili who does that. Yeah.
Nice.
Which is perfect Chili, actually. There's just something about it that just matches. Sorry, I'm going to have to come back to the fairy game that gets played because I love that moment and I love goodbye, kids. Oh, I'm going to put my lipstick on. Goodbye, kids. Keys in the door.
Yes,
the door.
Oh man, that's so good. I'd forgotten about that.
It's one of those classic Bluey things that just like creates another universe because you get to see Muffin projecting what her mum is like through this storytelling, and you sort of start to see their relationship. It's just this tiny little moment, but it has so much weight to it.
This whole episode really does conjure up that thing for me about Christmas in the summer, because it's weird for us when you grow up in Australia and all the Christmas movies you watch are, of course,
snow.
from Hollywood or British Christmas movies, and it's all snow. So and we still do put like fake snow up.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and when Santa does come to the park in the middle of summer, he's still dressed in his full regalia.
Oh yeah,
the poor guy.
Usually travelling on a fire truck, so he's got the big hose to hose all the kids down as well.
It's interesting. We know in our heads the magic of Christmas in the winter time with all the songs and the movies, but we've always just known it to be the really hot time where your family come and jump in the pool.
Yeah.
But our mutual friend Tom, his partner Kristen, she's from America, and it's been really interesting because she spent her first Christmas in Australia last Christmas. And she did a Thanksgiving thing as well. And she was cooking all day.
We still do like the slow cooked meats and that sort of stuff that you would typically associate with a wintertime feast. We still tend to do a lot of that. Barbecues and all these sorts of things.
And to see poor Kristen just dealing with it, and it was a particularly hot Christmas, and it's just, how do you do it? And you still have all these cooked meals and everything. What, are you insane? And like seeing that, it goes back to the whole thing of seeing something through the eyes of a person who's not really used to it. You just go, oh yeah, we are crazy for doing all this. Do you ever see the movie Bushfire Moon?
No.
It was called something else, and it was called Bush Christmas internationally. But side note, my eldest sister Claire went to school with the guy who played the kid. But you guys don't know the movie, so that means nothing to you.
Relevant.
No, I was going to say, isn't this already a side note before you get into personal connections?
Double side note.
But no. But the mean guy, I mean, it's a Christmas movie, so he ends up being not mean. It's sort of, now I'm only just realizing it now, and I'm 37 years old, that it's an Australian take on Christmas Carol, and I've only just realized that, I think, because this guy, he's sort of like the Scrooge character. Isn't that amazing? The things you learn just by talking through them. But no, he had a party, and he's like the British sort of thing. So, and he invites everyone, and they have this. It's a tradition to have like a Christmas log burning on the fire.
Yeah, Yule log.
And Yule log. Yeah. And so they've got a Yule log, and it's like 40 plus degrees. I mean, nowadays we have fire restrictions that stop that from, but it's set in the distant past, and it's set in colonial times, and so they didn't have the smarts to go, maybe we shouldn't light a fire in the bush
not a great
on
idea.
a 40 plus degree day and risk the lives of everybody in the district and beyond. But was
that the point of that story?
I think
don't start fires in the bush.
I think the point of the story is summer Christmas is weird to lots of people. But I like it.
There's something about it. There's something about it, you know. I mean, for us in Australia, cricket is the big thing, so it's a very much a summer sport. We associate Christmas with cricket, which, you know, to Americans they go, is that strange, not quite baseball thing? Yes, it is. In the same way that baseball is regarded as America's pastime, cricket is kind of ours. So, and for all our English listeners, I'm sorry because we're better. Really?
Fact. But I tell you what, I have mentioned this before. I deliver the mail for Australia Post, and I'm out there, you know, rain, hail, or shine. And come Christmas time, there are so many parcels that I have to deliver, and it's boiling hot. And lucky I've got a newer car these days, and so I've actually got air conditioning. There was a time that I didn't, and now I can't live without it. But I'm there rocking my high-vis singlet, delivering the parcels like Santa himself. And one thing, even though it's hot, I am very grateful that our Christmas is in the summer for daylight savings alone, because you know, sometimes, usually, maybe I'll in the middle of the year, I might get an early knockoff time, and if I've delivered everything, I'm just gonna go home, aren't I? But come Christmas time, it's not uncommon that I'm still on the road at like 7-8 o'clock delivering the mail for the day. And if it were in the middle of winter, like it is in other parts of the world, like it is in the Northern Hemisphere, it would already be dark, and I've got all these things that I got to deliver. I've still got half a day to do. So it is on those days that I go, thank God I don't care about the heat. At least I've got light to finish this job. Otherwise it'll never get done.
So I think, judging from his facial reactions, Marty's actually keen to talk about the Bluey episode itself.
Okay.
Do you remember that thing?
A novel idea, but let's see how it plays out.
Other Christmassy things, classic Christmassy things, kids' table extension.
Oh, the kids' table?
Yeah.
Everyone had the kids' table.
So it's always slightly lower table because it's like mismatched. It's got like the plasticky type of tablecloth on it because the kids are inevitably going to spill something on it. They're reading the terrible Christmas jokes. So it's not actually. I think we've just got music by that point in the episode.
Yeah, it's like a montage
just playing
of
over
all
the top.
The stuff that's
so we're just getting to see Bartleby actually, you know, fitting in with the family.
Yeah. Oh,
and
it's really.
So they just act that out, eye rolling at the terrible jokes that are inevitably in the crackers, and ripping the hat, which is something that always
ripping the
always
hat.
happens.
Oh man, I don't think I ever had a hat that I didn't rip by
or
by my stupidly bulbous noggin.
Or you wear them long enough, and as we've talked about the heat in Australia, your forehead starts to go blue or purple or whatever colour you happen to be wearing, because it melts to your face a little bit.
You mentioned the terrible jokes. I will defend bonbon jokes.
Give us an example, Brandon.
And actually, another little thing for our Trans-Pacific partners. Bonbons, we're not talking about the candy.
Oh, no. Yes.
Bonbon is a word that we use for Christmas crackers a lot of the time. So Christmas crackers and bonbons, that's what we call them, which, I think we just do that to confuse people. And, that's what it's all about. But I have a joke from a Christmas cracker.
Here we go.
That I love. Do you guys have any that you want to say?
I can't think of any right now.
I'll go first. Yeah, awesome. This is my favorite joke that I ever got from a Christmas cracker. See if I can remember. What happened to the man who couldn't tell the difference between window putty and toothpaste?
I know this one. It is good. Marty?
No, please tell us, Brendan.
All his windows fell out.
Takes you a second because you start picturing it. You're like, putty and toothpaste.
I think I stuffed it up because I shouldn't have said window putty. I should have just said, well, you couldn't tell the difference between putty and toothpaste. Yeah. And because it conjures up like, toothpaste, he's going to put, and you thinking that the answer is going to be about something about his mouth because all his windows fell out. Of course they did, because he used toothpaste. I don't know why. But when you get that in a cracker, it's so bizarre and so avant-garde that you just think, why?
Who writes this? The other thing we should probably shout out, which is a bit of foreshadowing in these pandemic-y times, is the Christmas Zoom call, of course, to Uncle Rad and his new beau.
And this is where the heart of the episode really comes to the summit, I think.
Yeah. So Uncle Rad and Frisky, and she has a lovely conversation with Bluey, just going, these healers, they're a little bit crazy.
And the music starts to swell as she says it. And give them a chance and you'll find they're what did she say? They're full of love or something.
Yeah, that's it.
It's really sweet.
Another classic Bluey opening closing couplets thing, because we
Yes.
had all the opening couplets wherein something terrible or awkward happened to Bartleby as he got pushed off the thing, or, chucked in the water, or splashed, or, any of the too rough type actions. And then we have the other things where we get to see him being included and being shown love to, like around the kitchen table.
Yeah, he gets a shout out at the table.
Here's to Bartleby.
Here's to Bartleby. Yay!
That never happened to me. I never got a here's to Optimus
No.
Prime at my Christmas.
No, you probably shied away from the pool a bit too much, whereas Bartleby was amongst
And I
it.
think for the closing couplets, the best one is Nana catching a ball without her glasses on. So that's a bit of a like.
Hey, nice.
Take that.
Well done, Nat. She's
Take
still
that.
got it.
Yeah, she's still got it.
Oh man, swimming as well. Like, I don't know if you guys were like strong swimmers when you were kids, but I was markedly not so. and I think I'm just really grateful because I don't know if you guys really enjoyed going to swimming lessons at school, but the bus ride was the favorite thing for me, because if you got a cool seat with your friends, then that was an exciting. It wasn't school. That's what I loved about it.
Sure.
But then the swimming lessons, I was always in the lower class, and I just didn't get it. I wasn't very physically gifted as a child. I know you guys find that hard to believe to look at me now.
Really?
Just such a
wouldn't have picked
specimen.
it.
But I just lucked out that we had friends nearby who had a pool that it was just one of those above ground pools where I could kind of stand up at every point. And oh my god, this is such a sad story, and I'm not painting myself
Is it
as
better
much.
than the story where you got pulled out with a big hook at the swimming
That's
centre?
part of the story. Oh man, Geordie loves that story. Our mutual
also
friend
love
Jordan,
that story.
he just loves that I was the kid. And this is really sad. I'm thinking about myself back then, and poor little Brendan. Just want to hug him. He was the only kid in the buoyancy vest, and he's and everyone else is like jumping off the high dive. He's like, no, I got my buoyancy vest, and like I keep jumping in and trying to swim to the other end of the pool, and then they have to like put a broomstick in for me to hold on to, and I don't know, the poor little guy. But I think it just I was just scared because all the other kids were way better than me, and so I'm just grateful that I had a friend like Muffin, who had a pool and had me around, and the pool, there was no deep end, so I could kind of become accustomed to being in water at my own pace, and now I can at least like swim, and I enjoy swimming. I'm not graceful, can't do it properly.
The friend or family member with a pool.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
That's the dream, because then there's no maintenance for you to do, but you have access to a pool.
That's right.
I was just thinking, like, then that becomes the gathering place for really great times, really great memories. So there's like Brenda's referred to it as the pool episode, and just like that becoming sort of semi-public property of not entirely for your family. It's, anybody who gets invited into the circle.
I was just about to roll up a magazine for you, but I figured that would be a bit
You couldn't do
rough
that, mate.
if I expected you not to do it for me before.
Well, you'd be hard pressed to roll up a magazine because they're all rolled up for you after this episode.
I know.
You're actually surrounded by them right now.
Yeah. Ow.
We've been talking about Muffin a couple of times, but I also love Socks.
Socks
always
is
get
great.
some good little bits, because that's where they get to play with what's a kid version of a dog person.
Yeah.
And what's it
yeah.
like when they're growing up. So I think in this one, Socks is actually walking on 2 legs as opposed to 4. I think potentially the first time we've seen that.
Yeah,
but
you're
she
right.
still has elements of more dogness because she goes up and licks Bartleby, and she just says, she says something, she's got a one-liner or something like that.
Yeah.
Pizza, when she gets the pizza toy. But just this idea, they're more like dogs when they're smaller, and then they slowly grow out of that.
That's how evolution works, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we came from dogs, didn't we?
Yeah.
Or did they come from us? Oh, you have said that this might be a utopian future.
Or post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
It's a post-apocalyptic utopian future in which everybody is a dog person.
A dog.
Planet of the Dogs. Yeah.
And their brother has a pool.
Because that's important to note.
That's the utopian aspect.
And I love that the crackling gets the approval at the end. It gets the nod.
Strut.
Yeah, and because it's so good, like I know what I'm doing. He don't know what to do. Are you sure you know how to do? And I love it when Rads is on the call. He just he says, "Are you sure you know how to do the crackling, mate?" But I love that even though Tribe's like, yes I do, and it's all like, no, I know how to do it, and it's all competitive. And then at the end, when he does get the approval, you can still tell that it still means a real lot that he got it. He's like, really? You reckon? You're putting on a brave face when they're trash talking each other, but when it comes down to it, he does want people to go, yeah, nah, you had it.
And the other lovely acknowledgement moment is when I mentioned before, when Trixie's sitting down after preparing all the food, she's actually wearing the world's greatest chef apron at that point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's got around to her. So that's nice.
It's a title that moves around as much as the apron. Well, was this episode Christmassy enough, guys? Was it Christmassy enough for you? I'm feeling in the season.
Oh, I'm ready to go. I've got presents to wrap, presents to buy.
With your mum's side of the family? Set aside a weekend.
Yeah. Well, we start wrapping for Christmas 2022 now.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yep. Good move. Well, folks, listeners, family, friends, Merry Christmas to you all. And to all a good night.
And here's to Bartleby.
Here. No, thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everyone tuning into this show happy and safe holidays, and love to all your family. I don't know them, but maybe I will one day. Maybe you'll invite me, and then you'll see your family through my eyes. Please, somebody invite me. My family's so loud. No, you can come to my family base. They're loud, but, give them a chance.
Do they have a pool?
No, we don't. Or Steve's building a pool, but that's in Perth. So we'll all go over to Perth. Anyway, all this to say, Merry, Merry Bluey Christmas. And if you do have any last-minute Christmas gifts that you need to buy, maybe you weren't organised, maybe you got something and they already had it. I don't know. But if you need something, you know where to find it. Aisle 300.
Left of the fake snow.
If you hit a reindeer, you've gone too far.
Created and produced by Frank, Brendan and Marty. You can follow the Hammerbarn Project on facebook.com/HammerbarnProj, at HammerbarnProj on Twitter, or Hammerbarn_project on Instagram. Theme featuring Nibblings, Kaylee, Jade, Ashley and Reese, and PA announcements by brother-in-law, me, Josh. Thanks for listening, and remember to get down to Hammerbarn for cheap shovels.